Hello, coolers, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Memphis Depay, as it has been reported that the Barcelona striker has offered himself to Jose Mourinho's AS Roma. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then, to conclude this episode, we are going to be talking on a lengthy interview from this Manchester United legend, Roy Ferdinand, who talks about Lionel Messi. Of course, he's tying together with Messi as an opponent. Of course, the Man United legend hails Messi, saying that can't put into words how good he is. We're going to be discussing on everything Roy Ferdinand had to say about the Barca legend. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. Memphis Depay could very well be on his way out of Barcelona when the January transfer window opens for business. The Netherlands international came extremely close to leaving Spotify Camp Nou in the summer, but the move to Juventus ended up collapsing. Having stayed out, the 28-year-old has found game time extremely hard to come by this season. Furthermore, he has been out sidelined with an injury for over a month now, with Barcelona said to be suspecting that he is prioritizing being fit for the FIFA World Cup, leading to his recovery time taking longer than initially expected. Either way, Barca would be open to sanctioning an exit in January, given his reduced stature within the side as well as the fact that his contract expires at the end of the season. While Juventus are said to be reigniting their pursuit for Depay, another Italian club could enter the picture. Indeed, according to Casio Mercato in Italy, AS Roma could be a potential destination for Memphis Depay, with the striker offering himself to Jose Mourinho's side. The Dutchman knows Mourinho from their time together at Manchester United, although it was hardly a memorable period for him. But the report states that the price can has been in talks with Roma for a long time in the summer transfer window without coming to an agreement over a transfer. However, the AS Roma are aware of the forward's interest in a move and will evaluate the option of signing him as he has offered himself to the inaugural UEFA Europa League Conference League winners. Depay has made just 3 appearances for Barcelona this season and has netted just 1 goal in the process, having injured his thigh while on international duty in late September. The versatile forward has missed 9 matches for Barca since. It remains to be seen if Roma decide to take up the option of signing Memphis Depay, given that their current priority is said to be strengthening the defense. Memphis Depay have endured a terrible season so far at Barca, and coupled with his injury problems have just made things worse. Memphis Depay has really played this season, and of course, he was not even supposed to be at Barca right now because we quite remember during the summer window, Juventus were close to acquiring Memphis, but the move collapsed. But at least to an extent, I think it was a good thing for Barca because Lewandowski have no reliable backup, and we know Memphis Depay is a striker as well. But even after that, it seems as though Barca still want to kick Memphis Depay out of the club, and the fact that Memphis Depay's contract expires in the summer, that is the end of this season next year, Barcelona don't want to allow him go for free because when his contract comes to an end, he'll be a free agent. So there have been reports these days claiming how Barca are trying to see if they can sell Memphis Depay in January so that he still have value that time. But the problem now is there's many clubs they don't like to rush into players who are in their final year in the January window. They rather wait till the summer of that same year when the players will be free so that they will not spend any penny. So for Memphis's case, now we're talking about AS Roma in the Serie A, as it has been reported that Memphis Depay, he also wants to leave Barcelona and have offered himself to AS Roma. But it remains to be seen if AS Roma will accept that, because reports are saying that Roma themselves, they are prioritizing but the defense. They want to strengthen the defense. So it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen actually if AS Roma will consider Memphis Depay. But honestly speaking, you know, Memphis Depay can't be a happy player for what he has gone through this season for Barca. Of course, when you have Lewandowski on your team, you don't expect to be a starter. Lewandowski have always been a starter, and Memphis have played very few games, very, very few. Scored just one goal. One goal, that is against Elche. And things just got worse after he picked up an injury while playing for the Netherlands in international duty. So things are looking so difficult, and it seems as though his future continued to look uncertain. You know, so let's see actually if in the January window Barca will try to sell him, or they will allow him to finish the season. Then on to the next story of discussion. Lionel Messi won 4 UEFA Champions League trophies during his time at Barcelona, and two of those triumphs came at the expense of Manchester United in the finals. Indeed, Pep Guardiola's all-conquering brigade beat Sir Alex Ferguson's Red Devils in two Champions League finals, first in the 2008-09 campaign in Rome, before repeating the heroics in 2010-11 season in London at Wembley. And now, speaking in the documentary titled Messi, one of the stalwarts of that Manchester United team, Rio Ferdinand, has described how it was almost impossible for him and his side to stop the seven-time Ballon d'Or winner. Talking about the 2008-09 final in Rome, which United lost 2-0, Ferdinand said that United had believed that, they could win the match, but Messi's legendary headed goal in the second half killed any hopes that the Red Devils had of defeating Barcelona. He said, in Rome 2009, we thought we could win maybe this match until Messi scored a header. In the Premier League, and even in the Champions League, against some players, no disrespect, I would gamble on their lack of ability to get the ball past me, Ferdinand said. And I've done that in the Champions League final. And the problem was the person on the ball was Xavi. You got to know the players you are dealing with, and then he put it on the sixpence of Messi, who scored an outrageous header. He hasn't scored many of them, but this time he did it in the most important moment. And that's what separates the good from the great, he said. Ferdinand further added that Manchester United had played against Messi before and had managed to keep him locked down, but the one they faced in Rome was a different player who had the freedom in the final third, which made him unstoppable. He said, we had played against him before and we had locked him down, but this was a different Messi. This was a Messi who had more freedom to run around to be central, whereas before he was usually stuck wide where you could pin him down a bit. Still great, but when he was allowed the freedom to move and pop up anywhere, he was unplayable, ridiculous. Ferdinand then went on to insist that Messi was much better in the Wembley final 2 years later when Barca beat Manchester United 3-1 in their own country to win the Champions League. He said, he was actually better at Wembley. I remember standing on the pitch with Scarsley and watching him go and lift the trophy. They just took our soul, and Messi was the main ingredient, the former England captain said. He is just a wonderful footballer. You can't put into words how good he is. You try to break down situations and think could have. But when it is happening at a speed that it did, and when you have a player like Messi who makes decisions quicker and more effective than anybody else, it is almost impossible. Prime time Lionel Messi, unplayable. He signed off. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.